Collectively, data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cryptography, distributed ledger technology, or its poster child blockchain, and consensus protocols are the engines driving the vehicle that is modern finance. Here I have categorized the tech fins as AI fin and crypto fin respectively. I mentioned how the birth of FinTech can be timed to the global financial crisis of 2007 and 2008. After the crash and the devastation it wreaked, it became clear that many challenges associated with regulation had contributed to it. Some regulation was not fit for purpose. Other aspects of regulation could not keep up with the pace of change. Yet other aspects were just not being implemented, and the lack of implementation was not actually being properly policed. Collectively, this allowed a financial system with its greed is good mentality to spin out of control. Now, the recent growth of FinTech, never mind the financial and economic complications arising from the COVID-19 global pandemic, has done nothing to ease the burden for regulators. In fact, the opposite. We saw earlier how much of the recent innovation taking place in modern finance is being led by tech companies. Tech companies are not subject to the same level of regulatory stringency as conventional financial services organizations, yet they are operating in the financial services arena. And the pace of change has only accelerated over the past decade or so. Therefore, a very considerable challenge for regulators is to design and develop regulatory structure and instruments that on one hand provide direction, guidance and coherence in how financial services should be provided, so that the producers of financial services and products have clarity, and consumers of these same services and products have confidence and trust in the system. The truly global and digital nature of FinTech presents additional challenges. For instance, there are no geographical borders in the operation of Bitcoin, an open, public, largely anonymous, unvetted network, which presents massive challenges in attempting to ensure that it is not being used for illegal purposes. Alas, there are clearly documented cases of precisely this. Think Silk Road and the dark web. At the same time, regulators want to make sure that any regulation put in place encourages and facilitates innovation and creativity rather than stifling it. So regulatory innovation in FinTech will be big business, a fundamental and critical part of the industry now and likely to be for some time to come. These technologies often get referred to as RegTech. Next, we have the tech fins of artificial intelligence and crypto finance, driving change, innovating, reshaping, decentralizing, democratizing financial services. AI fin and crypto fin for short, these are the engines of modern finance. And by analogy, if these are the engines, then RegTech is the navigation system. And of course, to be roadworthy, any vehicle needs to be built on a sound and tried and tested structure. At the core of financial services, we identified the processes of transferring, raising and investing money and capital. Collectively, these form the chassis of traditional financial services, and their FinTech equivalents in PayTech, Capital Tech and InvestTech will serve that purpose in the tech age of finance. Building on what went before, bringing critical everyday financial services to literally billions of people who previously could not get a foothold on the ladder and were effectively closed out of the system through being underbanked or even unbanked. The FinTechs have brought ordinary people into the lending and borrowing arena and broadened accessibility to investment, the latter no longer solely the preserve of the wealthy and connected. And perhaps more critically, they are rewriting the book on how large companies access money and capital, ensuring that considerations such as carbon footprint and general environmental sustainability move to the top of the list of criteria for securing funding and investment. So, putting all of this together, we have RegTech steering things, AI fin and crypto fin driving things, and PayTech, Capital Tech and InvestTech supporting everything. This is modern finance.